right? So we are getting something like methane, which can be used as a fuel for automobile, and also you can use like a gas grid. These are the other two applications for the methane. Okay, what we our major focus will be biogas, but still we get something like a sludge because this is a digester. Above we'll get something like gas, right? Biogas, and below after digestion we get something like a sludge. Okay, these are called digestate. These digestate are nothing but a very good fertilizer. It is a fertilizer uh, can use for our agriculture purposes. Normally, we think like these kind of digester will, if you keep it at home, it may give us a foul smell or something kind of thing. But that is partially true. I'm not ignoring that. But still, it's not like that much bad where we cannot tolerate. We can put this because once get the substance get digested, we get a clear solution. Mostly it won't get much of the contaminant. A completely digested product will not having that much foully smell. Okay, we can handle those water and the sludge, which can be used majorly used as a fertilizer, and even a soil enrichment. You can use those digestate. Okay, these are an overview of biogas plant. I will just take on a different plant which are available right now in the industry. Okay, one second. Okay, so majorly we have five types. One is a fixed dome biogas plant, then a floating drum biogas plant, sorry, then low cost polythene tube digester, balloon biogas plant, and horizontal plant. These are five major types which are currently uh, available in the market, or the people are doing such kind of plants or in the industry. I will explain each and every one what is a working principle and how it is made, right? So these are a fixed dome biogas plant. If anyone from area of Tirupati or something, you can see something like a dome kind of thing. Uh, while going while traveling to Tirupati from Chennai, you can see a lot of biogas plant, which is something like a fixed dome biogas plant only. All those are fixed dome biogas plant, where you can see something like a everything will be buried underground. Only the dome will be seen above the ground, right? Only the dome you can see. This part we can see above the ground, and all other part will be under the soil pit or under the ground, will be submerged. Okay, so what they're actually doing, basically for a biogas digester, there is only three parts. Mainly three parts we have. One is a feed tank, one is a digester, and then another is overflow tank. These are major three parts um, for any digester. Okay, so one part here, the mixing tank, right? Here you will be dumping our feed. It can be a food waste or cow dung or crop waste, whatever it is. We can just feed it here. Okay, we need to mix this into a ratio of 10 is to 1. For one part of a solid material, we need to add 10 part of water. Okay, so here important thing is what and all material we need to avoid in the digester. That is very important than what we can put, right? So what material we should not put inside the digester? We need to note it down. These are the point. One is meat product. Meat product means chicken waste or any meat waste, fish waste that should not be used. This should be avoided. This should be avoided. Meat waste should be avoided. Okay, my writing is bad, but still try to understand. This the meat product so should not be used for biodigester. Second thing is milk waste. Maybe like milk dairy industry waste and all is there, like milk curd, those kind of things should be avoided. These are two main thing we need to avoid: meat, fish, and milk products. Okay, these three materials should be avoided because this will become like a toxic in nature, but we won't get any methane, but we it became like a toxic gas. Okay, so these are three product we need to avoid while using into biodigester. And other than that, we can use any, as I mentioned before, we can use any very best thing is cow dung only. We cannot refuse at any time. Cow dung is the best substrate for any biogas digester. And next, coming to a food waste and crop waste, everything. But when you initialize any digester, normally we'll be using only cow dung. For first time use, for any digester, we'll be using only the cow dung, right? So here there will be a mixing tank. This will be a mixing tank where you'll be using a ratio of 1:10 of any cow dung or food waste. It will be converted into a slurry. Okay, that slurry will be completely get inside this digester from the bottom. Okay, it will be feed from the bottom of the tank. This is called inlet chamber, and this is a digester tank. Okay, so it will be feeder into the bottom of the chamber. What happens once the digestion gets activated, we get a biogas, and all the biogas will just, the gas will be collected at the top. Okay, this dome area, all the gas will get collected, all the methane gas will be collected. Okay, so once the gas is formed, we will get a gas outlet, and then we will be collecting all those natural gases formed inside this digester. Okay, sorry. So once we feed in, we should have some way to get that things out, right? So this will be a inlet means we'll be having an outlet chamber also. Normally this will be separated like this. Inside this biogas chamber, we'll be having something like a wall constructed inside this. So the material will go here and then fall here, and then it will go through the outlet tank. Okay, this is outlet tank where we can just collect it and use as a fertilizer. Fine. So the main thing is here we will get like a retention time, RT. Retention time is a very important thing inside this biogas plant. Okay, so why we are constructing this wall time of thing? We need to have maximum retention time inside the digester, because if there is wall is not present, means what happen? Whatever you put inside, it may directly go without any digestion, without any proper digestion taking place. It may directly go inside this outlet wall, and then we will get some undigested material. Okay, so we need to have some separate and which will be demonstrated in later slide. Okay, there will be like a small separation here. So and the digestion, the material, organic matter will have sufficient time to travel, to be inside the digester itself, to have a complete digestion, right? So normally the biogas will get produced within the 3 days, and it will last for even 45 days, right? So these are the normal working of this fixed dome biogas plant, which is also in most of the time, most of the government projects, we have such something like fixed dome biogas plant, which is very maintenance is very less in fixed dome biogas plant, and easy to uh, what do you call, it's a bigger project. We can do very big plants also. In floating drum chamber, we cannot do like a bigger plant, is not possible after some limitation. There is some limitations there, but in fixed dome there is not such limitation. We can construct bigger plants also. So government projects preferably they do only the fixed dome biogas plant, right? So if you have any doubt, you can just post your questions in chat window, so that I can mean in between I can just check it. Is there any query, and I will just try to answer those things. Fine. Okay. So these are the floating drum plant. Okay. What's the difference between a floating drum plant? Means the gas collection chamber is there, right? Here you can see some gas collection chamber. Same thing. There will be like a mixer slurry inlet chamber, and then same outlet chamber. The same thing will be there. You can see something like a wall constructor here. In a previous slide, there was that the diagram that doesn't have that thing. Here you can see the clearly. We can see like it will goes here and then fills here and then falls it here. Okay, there are denoted by arrow marks also. So this how normally the construction will be there. And on top of this, there will be a gas collection chamber. Normally, You can see in the right hand side also. This is a chamber. This is the normally that is it is below the earth, and only the floating drum will be the above the tank, right? Why it is floating drum means it is not like what do you call attached with this pit. It is like a normal drum which is floating above this water jacket. Okay, there will be some water jacket will be there. Above the water jacket, the drum will be floating there. Okay, why this? Because in there is some disadvantage in fixed dome. What is disadvantage means? We cannot regulate any pressure. If because everything is concealed, if the pressure of the methane is exceed like some limitation, what happens? It may the dome may get cracked, or it may last to some bigger explosion, or some walls and fittings may wear and torn up. Right, these are some problems where the fixed dome has. But in floating dome, when the gas pressure increases, the floating dome keeps on increasing. What happens? It keeps on rising up, so that it won't the explosion or any hazardous thing or safety is completely like we minimizing those safety hazards. Okay, same in floating drum also we are having some wall and fittings. Outer gas also is there, and we'll be getting the gas out from this tube. You can see something like this. Normally for a small plant, maybe like colleges or any school or apartment or whatever it is, some society is there, we'll be using this like a medium scale. Okay, this is a medium scale. This fixed dome will be like large scale. This is a medium scale where you can do maybe like a 50 families or whatever it is. For 50 families or 20 families or there, we can use this type of small medium size biogas plant, which is normally a floating drum biogas plant, right? Any doubt in this? These are difference between fixed dome and floating drum biogas plant, right? Okay. Okay. So you may ask, this maybe like digging the soil and then construct the civil work is there. We need to have some civil construction. Then we need to float the drum and all. That seems to be quite expensive, right? For some people, they may feel like very expensive because what we are doing is okay. I'm getting some question like, do this now biogas generation? Normally, is we get the biogas within 3 days of time. We'll get it. Sometimes, if the environment is not so favorable, it may take up to 7 days to get your output, usable output, right? But it lasts. You need to once you get a gas generator, you can feed it daily. Daily, you can put some half kg or 1 kg. You can daily feed your biogas generator, maybe digester, so that continuous production of gas will be there. Okay, it's not like a batch process, it is like a continuous process. Once the gas is first, you should not, once you feed with some initial feedstock like cow dung or something, you should not load for next 3 or 4 days till you get output of methane. Once the methane gets gas gets started, maybe the gas get produced, you can daily feed like half kgs to 1 kg depending upon your waste generated, right? And your digester capacity, how much it can handle. Okay, so it's nothing like limitation. So it lasts for maybe like if you one batch, if you put maybe like maintenance in terms sense, you can uh, maybe like 1 year or something, you can just remove all the uh, things out and then wash it like whatever sewage sump or something. How much uh, maybe like that you need to wash the tank. Okay, it won't be repeated cleaning and those maintenance won't be there. Once you install and start using it, the only thing you'll be looking at, you need to collect waste collection tank will be there, right? Only those thing you have a parameter check will be there. And the main important thing is all the waste material should be in a slurry form. It's not be like a hard thing. Okay, if you put carrot like without cutting, means that it won't get digested properly and it will spoil whole system, right? It will be completely in the slurry, and it will you should chop it very nicely and fine particles so that it get digested easily, right? It's not put like a full onion or full waste material direct dumping into directly. Main thing is we need to chop it or grind it into fine particles and then mix it with 1:10 of water. Then only we can feed into the system. Fine. So the low cost polythene tube digester is nothing but you'll get something like this. Okay, that will be a polythene bag will be there. It's something like a nothing but a bigger polythene bag. You can see in right hand side. Here you can see the bigger polythene bag. This polythene bag is connected with some feed material like slurry inlet and outlet. This is outlet actually. This is the inlet. Okay, here it is the inlet. So we will be inletting or waste material. The same thing happen. Whatever biogas produce, the polythene bag get enlarged, maybe like blown up. Okay, then we'll be having here what advantages. The pressure will be maintained because there is a pressurized gas here because of polythene. So you'll get gas with the constant pressure. And then what the same thing only. The thing is we no need any civil construction, and it's very cheap compared to a for what we saw before, like floating drum and fixed dome. This is very cheap and economical. Fine, but the concept is same only. It's nothing. It's a not new concept. All the concepts are same. The working principle is same, but the model of the biogas chamber is different. So this also balloon plant. Here also same thing, but it's a much bigger than what we saw before. Okay, same. Everything will be inside the thin material. First we saw in the thick material. This is very thin material. The process is completely same. Okay. This also horizontal plant. This also you can see something like this. The ISO will be kept in horizontal way. Whatever gas collected, whatever gases get collected, it will be stored inside this separate balloon. Okay, this is digester is separate and the collection tank is separate. Okay. In before chamber, what we saw, the digester and collection chamber is in same container, right? This is in separate chamber. Where digester is in one chamber and then collection unit is in another chamber, maybe like another balloon kind of thing, right? So this is also another model for a gas chamber, biogas. Okay. So if you want to construct, how to construct our biogas plant? What are the materials required for constructing our own floating drum biogas plant? Floating drum biogas plant is very easy to construct, as well as is readily available on a market also. We can, for home use and all, you can use only this floating drum biogas plant, which is very easy to maintain also. Okay, first we need um, a very good digester and a feed pipe, waste collection pipe. You need gas outlet and a floating drum. Digester is a bottom part, is a digester, and then feed pipe. It can be a PVC pipe or something. We need to just attach at the bottom of the digester, and then collection pipe. This collection pipe can be attached in between this pipe with the wall. With the wall, I'm just demonstrating for a home unit, how to construct for a home unit at your home itself. Okay, this would be at maybe like, if the tank size is this much, means at a 50% of volume, you need to construct something like this. This is like an outlet wall, and inlet wall will be at the bottom. Okay, this is an inlet. Okay, this can be something a PVC pipe, and slightly lesser the diameter of this drum, we can have one floating drum here, slight, maybe like one, maybe like a 5 mm or something, 5 mm diameter, shorter than, smaller than this bigger digester. We can have another drum, and in an inverted model, in an inverted way, we need to float one drum above this digester, right? In the bottom, this part, we can have one small gas outlet with the brass valve attached to this. Okay, this is a very simple way to construct at your home, nothing complicated. So we need, what are the requirement? Digester, this is digester, and this is a feed pipe number 2, waste collection pipe, this is number 3, gas outlet number 4, and then floating drum number 5. These are 5 components we need to build our own biogas digester. Any doubt in this? You can just ask me. If not, I will just continue with this. Okay. So, what is the operation condition so that we can operate the biogas in a very convenient way? Okay. So normally, operation condition is normally the microbes can effectively digest at around.
Excuse me, Arun.
Yes, ma'am.
Just for the benefit of the participants, I would like to ask a question.
Okay.
We are going to have a slurry always introduced into the biogas unit.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in industrial scale or in a large scale, when things are planned, we always have a grinder or a size reduction mill, so that the feed, I mean the waste that we collect, it is fed and a slurry is formed, and then we introduce it into the biogas unit.
Yeah.
But at household, what is the thing you would suggest? And I mean, practically speaking, because we cannot have a thing installed separately for that.
Yeah.
Can you
normally,
just suggest on that?
Yeah. Normally, we can, what we can at home, what we can normally, people, what they are doing is they are using a food waste. The food waste is nothing but is a boiled material where we no need much grinding. Normally, our food waste would be around like rice items and sambar, rasam, all those kind of thing. That doesn't need much grinding kind of thing. It's always in a slurry way only. Our food waste normally comes out in a slurry way only. And then if we have any chapati kind of thing, means we need to tear into parts and then we need to mix it up well. Okay. Then for vegetable waste, you can always use your vegetable peels and all. The vegetable skin of the vegetable, all those doesn't require much chopping. But if you feel something greater than 10 centimeter or something kind of thing, we can always chop it. The maximum allowed sizes you can make like 2 centimeter or something, or else if possible you can have one separate cup as a mixer. You have always, normally all the household having a mixer grinder at home, can use one separate mixing what do you call mixer jar only for this biogas itself. You can, because we cannot mingle with other food material, chutney cup for food waste also, right? So you can always keep one separate jar for a feed tank for feeding this biogas. And then whatever material you feel very big, can just always put in a mixie jar and then just to grind for a couple of seconds, maybe like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, just chop it, not to make us a paste, just for a chopping only. And then you can just dump it into a biogas generator. So hope, I think it will be useful. So next, the thing is how we can use it. We need to maintain around 37 degree, which is not possible always, right? During a winter season and all, the yield of this biogas will you normally used to drop using winter season. In places like Chennai or South India, there won't be major problem, but still the 37 degree is quite maybe like quite high from normal 35 degree, which is we used to get it, right? So what we can do is we can just paint with black color. Here you can see, like, you can just paint with black color. So what happens, the black color absorb the sunlight, and then we get some degree, maybe like 2 to 5 degree rise in temperature will be useful for efficient functioning of your biogas. Normally what I'm here, I draw some biogas plant, right? And the drum what we use in household for this constructing, what we use is something like a blue color drum. 200-liter drum is there, right? That comes in blue color. That can be used it very well for this thing. And also the smaller size blue color drum can be used in an inverted way. Okay, that is made up of PP material, very strong. And normally in my house also I'm just having one small setup. This can be used in a very good way, right? This 200-liter tank will be in a blue color only. Normally from my thing, I saw only blue color. Apart from blue color, I didn't see any other color. Maybe some color will be in white color, I think. Okay, normally it comes in blue color only, the dark blue color. You just buy one 200 ml of black enamel paint and just paint it here, so that what happens is the temperature inside the biogas dialysis is increased. Maybe it from 35 degrees outside temperature, even it is 27 or something during winter or during rainy season. If some part of if you keep in sunlight, means what happen, the temperature automatically raised. Okay, so we will get continuous production of gas even during a low temperature. If the temperature is reduced, means what happens, we won't get that much output, right? So this is one of the tips we need to follow it. So we need to keep it around 37 degree, and then it for maybe like it may last like about 3 weeks. Okay, normally the gas production may last for each feed 3 weeks. It will last if you don't feed enough. Okay, if you're continuously feeding, means it's not a problem. If you're not feeding continuously, means the gas production will last till 3 weeks. Okay, I already told you the feed ratio, which is 1:10, and this also I just explained to you right now. Okay, so I just have one small uh, cost of construction. You may ask me what will be the cost if I make at home. I'm just demonstrating it here. Normally the drum, 200-liter drum, will cost around 800,000 rupees. Normally if you go to some Paris or something, you'll get those drum. Maybe I'm talking about Chennai, right? And if you go to the feed PVC pipe, means you'll get around 300 rupees. The PVC pipe will be there. And then the gas outlet tubes will be the gas wall, all those, the brass thing. Okay, that's whatever I'm talking here is something like a flame resistant tubes. You should not use water gas outlet. Gas tube will be there. Okay, that is especially for flammable gas. There are separate tubes are there. The green color tube or orange color tube, which is used for LPG gas, right? That kind of tube you should use. You should not use something like water tube. Water tube can be used, but it's not that much safe. Okay, you need to use only the gas tube. This may cost around 600 and maybe less, or it may even increase according to your length of the tube, right? And then a floating drum, you can use small bucket kind of thing also, or you can use the car tube, like a separately we can also make as a gas collection chamber. We can use something like car tube. Second, and we can get something like from puncture shop, they will give for 100 rupees or something. We can use that one. The total fabrication cost will be around 2000. It is very just quoted a very small amount. So if you want to try it yourself and whether it is working or not, you can, with a small budget, you can try it at home, which can save a lot of money in uh, what you call. We can take this 2000 is nothing. It's not a small big money itself. Within a month also we can recover all those money, because if you buy 2 cylinder, this money is nothing for you. And can, if the winter comes, you can use for hot water, all those kind of thing. You can use this gas, right? Hope this is helpful. I will go for a next topic, a small introduction about microbial fuel cell. Is there any doubt in this? Yeah, the pH maintenance is also there. We need to maintain around. Basically what happens is it will be slightly acidic only. The pH will be slightly acidic in nature. We cannot. Normally, the pH will be ranging around 5 or 4. It may drop even. Uh, yeah, it may even drop maybe like 5. or even 4, depending upon the environment. Normally it will be in acidic condition, slightly acidic condition only. So the fertilizer, you connected to this, you can ask like, if the pH is more in a digest state, what will happen as a fertilizer, right? That is a very good question. Normally the people used to have. Normally if the digestate is acidic, we cannot use directly into some fertilizer, because the plant may not get if the acidic substance is poured as a fertilizer, some plant may not have a acidic resistant and it may die. Okay, so those kind of situation, what we can do is we need to have a crop selective fertilizer. Normally what the people will do is maybe like a citrus plant, maybe a tomato variety, or oranges or lemon. Those plants are slightly resistant to acid medium. Those kind of plants we can just target and use it. Or else another option is, if you are using those water as a water itself, I'm just talking about. If it is um, not there, we can always use dry